Hello, everyone. Okay, thank you very much. And you can hear me well, right? Thumbs up, please. Okay, thank you very much. We have a very good discussion a while ago about citizen science. And for me, that is very good to explore since this is the future pedagogies for TVET teachers. So I'd like to give some insights of citizen science in terms of TVET. So for example, Malaysia and Philippines, we're going to explore about because here in the Philippines, we have also agriculture and maybe we have some problem on pest. So in the Philippines, maybe at the different locations, citizens were going to collect pest maybe in the rice field. You have to take picture and then put that in a data and then try to analyze it and then learn from experts on how to solve that problem. So therefore, that citizen science concept maybe would be our future pedagogy for the vet. Okay, it's because I believe the concept of the vet also involved science concept. Now we will talk about design thinking, an approach uh, for the vet teachers. So I have modified the title so that I could hit the purpose of the seminar workshop. But before that, I would like to thank University Turi Hussein on Malaysia for partnering with us, MSUIIT. We just finished signing our MOU, and I'm so glad as a dean that we started this activity very timely because our chancellor have signed an MOU last week, and we were going to send our signed MOU to UTHM within the week. So thank you very much, UTHM, for partnering with us. And I'm very sure with this signed MOA, we could do more. This is just our first step in doing collaborative activity. Thank you very much for partnering with us. So for today, for design thinking and approach for TVET teachers. So today, I will going to discuss with you the 5 stages process of design thinking, and as well as we will have a short workshop later. We will use AI for that workshop. It's because some of you are online and some of you are on site, so that everyone could participate that short workshop, then we could use the online tools to that workshop. But before we do to that workshop, I will explain to you what is the design thinking. So design thinking have the following stages. The very important thing about design thinking is empathizing. And the next step is define the things that the user needs. We were going to ideate, prototype, and then testing. Why it is very important, the most important thing of design thinking is emphasizing the user. It is because, why do we need to emphasize users? It's because we want to listen to the user of the product that we are creating. We want to understand or be aware and sensitive of the experiences, feelings, and thoughts of our future user of the technology or the innovation that we will be soon making in our program in Tibet. So here, empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling the heart of another. So it's very important that we need to empathize when we try to make a product. So empathy is important for us designers, especially in Tibet. I know there are a lot of patenting innovation in Tibet courses. And if we haven't think the users in mind, maybe the product have no use in the future. That is the reason why the empathizing stage in design thinking is very important because we are concerned with understanding the people we are designing solution and for doing something that can help them. So therefore, emphasizing in design thinking 5 stages is very important. It's not design thinking if you go directly to defining what are the things that we need to do. First, we need to understand who are our users. Okay? So in empathizing, you need to understand the empathy map, where how we see it, how we feel with the user, and what actions and behavior do we notice with our user, and what might be the thinking, and what does this tell, the things that they have shared to us to understand what they need. So empathizing is very important. After we empathize our user, then uh, we have to interview our future users of our product and try to understand them so that we will know what are the characteristics of our product. Uh, what are the things that we need to do when we design our product? So the next thing is, if we try to interview the user, we'll have to define that. This is the second stage of design thinking. The defining stage is very important. And this is important if we listen to our user from empathizing. So in the defining stage, we try to synthesize our observation about our users from the first stage. The empathizing stage is very important because we're going to define the problem statement. And this problem statement will guide us, or you, who is the designer, the ideation process, which is the third stage of design thinking. In this stage, in the design thinking process that allows a design team to guide or craft a statement built upon from the user point of view. So the define stage focus on the needs of the user, identify their needs. So the point of view to the design is very important to the team. And we can define it well if we are empathetic to the user. Okay? So in the define stage, we need to understand the user. We need to understand their need and as well as their insight. We must have a complete picture on what the user needs and the insight. Okay, later we will try to simulate this. For now, we can simulate. It's because we don't have enough time to think about what is our product and go to the user, and then we try to understand our user. Later, we will have a very short workshop on understanding these 5 stages. So the most important thing in defining is we will going to describe our persona, who come from our empathy maps. This is the persona, is the POV, and this is very essential because we are designing a product for our user. So in doing this is, as you interview the user, you may want to think about synthesizing using this table. We were going to design based on their traits, and then what are their challenges and needs, and how do we design user with in relation to their challenges and needs. Okay, so the next stage is what we call ideate. Okay, remember we already emphasized to our user, and we try to understand what is their need and what are their challenges. So therefore, we already identify their needs and challenges. Then we will have ideation. And by the way, in design thinking, it's not recommended that you will work alone. You have to be in teams. Okay? As a teacher, if you design a lesson for your student, then students should be in teams. It's not an individual activity. that is also discussed this morning about student-centered activities, that the enhancement of student-centered activities if they work in groups. So if students are working on group, or if the team will work in group, then we will have different ideas. Okay? Each person will have different ideas. So in the ideate, the collaboration here is being challenged, is because all of you emphasize the user, you have defined what they need, but each person would have different idea on the prototype that you are going to use. And that is the most challenging part. Okay? So in ideate, ideation is the mode of design process in which you concentrate on idea generation. So when everyone give their idea, in what way that every person should be listened in the ideation. The ideation provides both the fuel and also the source of material for building the prototypes and getting innovative solution into the hands of your user. And I realized that in the ideate is when we try to implement this in the classroom, is as teacher, you must help them that they really collaborate in such a way that when they discuss, everyone is safe and every idea is important. So idea is about generating ideas. It is the phase where need to question or reformulate what we are thinking of the existing solution, and also our belief on how to improve that solution. Okay? Always remember, ideation is a free zone. It is a safe zone for the team. So all ideas, we need to share it. And you need to agree as a team that all ideas are respected. Okay? It's not about coming up with the right idea, but it's about generating idea. So every member should not be afraid to express their idea. Okay? Or if you are a researcher, if there are 5 researchers, every idea is important. Okay? So in ideation, it will help us if you are part of the team for making a product, or if you as a teacher, you will lead your students to do ideation, then it is very important that we were going to ask the right question so that we consider the user, their needs, and their insights about them beyond the obvious solution. Remember, everyone give idea, then you could you could do a lot of ideas, even though maybe it's impossible to do it, but you could always express that idea because it will increase innovation potential of your solution. So actually, this is emphasizing is challenging, but ideation is also very challenging. Actually, in every part of the design thinking, if it is your first time to do it, every part is you will develop your decision making as well as the critical thinking. Okay? So it bring the all the perspectives of the team. Okay? So the ideation technique would be brainstorming, start with your problem statement that you have got that from your defining stage, and then focus on one problem at a time. So that, remember, time in the discussion is very important. And every idea is important, so therefore you have to put all your ideas. Okay? And then build your ideas from each other. So ask the members to jot down ideas, and so that you will have time, focus time, then you could also think about limiting the time. Okay? So another very popular in ideation is we call it the scamper, no, where S stands for substitute, because there's an existing solution maybe, and you want to improve the solution. And then you want to combine maybe based on your idea and the existing one, you may want to improve it. So you may want to combine it and then adapt, modify, put together, and then we were going to eliminate some things that you need to eliminate. And then uh, you have to think about your idea. Another strategy is mind mapping, where maybe your subject is your problem, and then different idea, you have to mind map it as a team until you will have your solution. Mind mapping is also a very efficient tool in ideation. Okay, the next one is prototyping. In prototype, you remember, we emphasize the user. We have defined the characteristic of the user, the insight of the user, as well as what they need and what are the challenges. And then we try to ideate, and then let's go to prototype. Based on the data that we have from the defining, and then the ideas that we have as a team, and then we have to make a decision which idea that we could work on, or how do we combine the ideas and try to eliminate some ideas so that we could think about a prototype. And then in this prototyping, you have to embed the content, your TVET content. When you talk about, for example, you were going to design a house, no? So therefore, your content in measurement, as well as what is the allocation, the cost. So making decision of your prototype is very important based on the user needs. Okay, in the prototyping, production of this, which should be very clear in terms of the cost, and then investigate if it really, if you're really prototyping in terms of the user needs. You have to go back to your empathizing, and then based on the theories that we learn, the content that we learn in TVET, as well as maybe the embedded of those important concept in science, technology, and then engineering, because you have to, when you have some prototype, you are open that when the user give feedback, you have to modify your prototype. In the prototype, when you have your technology, the the engineering of the engineering part here is when you have that prototype, and then you try to go back to your user, and then you try to improve it based on the user feedback. So these are types of prototyping. It depends, no? It depends on what the groups really want. Or do you want to end with prototyping, such as maybe some paper thing, or first is you will have some Lego thing before you do the real one, okay? Or you may want to do some physical models. If you want, for example, in this thing, if you want to design a backpack, and there are existing backpack right now, and then we want to improve the backpack, since there are things that we could still improve. That is your innovation, okay? So you may have physical model right here as an example. You could use the cartolina, and then the model of your innovative backpack. So as you could see here, this is slimmer, not like with other backpacks. So what's the reason of this? You go back to your user if this is really what they want. So so in prototyping, it's not yet the real one. It's only a prototype, okay? So guidelines for prototyping, just start building your idea. Don't spend so much time on it because you have to go back to your user. Remember, what you're testing for is just your prototype, okay? So, and the last one of this is testing. No, in testing, It's okay. In testing, actually, you have to go back to your user in empathizing. And remember this one, Thomas Edison, uh, he failed many times until he had innovation on the light bulb, right? So it's okay to keep improving your prototype based on the testing, okay? So that is the complete 5 stages of design thinking. Empathizing is very important, defining your user, and you do ideating, and then you do your prototype. Either you just have sketches or you just have a sample prototype, a physical one, and then you try to test it. And then when you test it, go back to your user. And then if it doesn't address the needs of your user, you have to go back again, define, and then go to ideate, and then prototype again. Then with your prototype test, you have to go back either, I would like to check in the insights of my user and then go back to your test again. So design thinking is not a linear thing. It is an iterative approach. And as you could see here, the user, the empathizing stage is very important. Okay? So maybe, how many of you here are using AI, by the way? Please raise your hand for those who are on site. And then for those who are online, you may have a thumbs up for those who are using AI. Okay, I can see a lot of thumbs up. It's because since we have a hybrid mode of a workshop, let's have some workshop. Okay, so kindly picture this QR code, and you can see the guide of this of this workshop. Kindly take a picture of this. And then I have put a prompt library, no? A prompt library so that we could try all the parts of design thinking. Please, please give me a thumbs up if you already have, or if you are already in that Google document. Okay, so since you are TVET teachers, right? And your product should be near to the community, okay? So let us design. So for example, the first instruction is, are you with me? You're with me, right? The first instruction is you will going to select an AI tool that will support you on completing each step of the design thinking activity. Okay? Please thumbs up if you understand the instruction. Okay? For example, you want to use Gemini, that is okay. Or some of you will use ChatGPT, that is okay. Okay? As you could see, please do not do it first. I'll try to explain to you the document. The first one, for empathizing. We will tell, remember, this workshop is for that you will experience, no? Remember, in empathizing is if you want to create a product, you really have to go to the community and then interview what are the challenges based on the product that you want to make, based on the existing product. It's because you want to improve it. Like, for example, backpack, no? So you have to go back to the user and then interview. But since we cannot do that right now, so we will ask Gemini or ChatGPT to do that for us. Because remember, please remember, this is a simulation, okay? Because ChatGPT can do anything, no? But remember, we will just use ChatGPT so that we could see what is design thinking, okay? So this is the prompt for empathizing, no? Please click, you will going to use the prompt. And by the way, the red one is you may revise that. No? Pwede nyo i-revise. Maybe you are a trained design researcher. In this case, create 10 extremely diverse, vivid user persona. Why do I use the disaster vulnerability in the Philippines? Because we have experienced floods, rain, earthquake in our country. And I know TVET teachers are also, this is also very close to your heart. No? So you may cut and paste this in Gemini or in ChatGPT. And then please ask also ChatGPT or Gemini based on the persona above, generate interview transcripts. Okay? Could you do that? And then in define, you will going to prompt based on the empathy map, you will going to research, no? Research the existing data, generate how might we, so you have here the prompt, and then maybe ChatGPT will going to give that, and then you will going, the ChatGPT or Gemini will going to rank, and then there is an ideation, and then you have here a prompt, and then you may ask ChatGPT to make a prototype, and then you will test it. Could you do that now? And then I'll give you time. Please think of the product that you want to make. You may want to change all the prompts based on your. I just give you a guide of the prompt. You could change the red one or the underlined one for in your case. Okay? So are you doing it now? So based on my on the drive, there are 12 users or more than 12 users in here. And I hope you will grow directly from your empathizing to your defining stage, and then to your ideate, and then you try to prototype. And by the way, one example, because one example, my students make an app based on the existing problem. You could ask Gemini to make an HTML maybe for in that case. Okay. May I give you time to do that? And then later, I will ask someone to show their prototype based on the problem. And then later, you will going to share your problem statement, your prototype, and then the description of your prototype with the use of AI, because uh, we cannot simulate design thinking if we try to collect data now. No? So we're just using Gemini to give a simulation of design thinking activity. So I hope you're doing it now. And by the way, I hope you understand the things that you are doing. What we are doing right now is from the empathize, we just asked the AI to ask to the role of a designer. And then based on that, the second one, yung persona, parang it's just like the AI have interviewed people based on the problem. Okay? And then based on the interview result, that's the define, you will going to have some possible solutions based on the problem. And then you will do ideation using Scamper, and then you do the prototype. And then let's see what's what's the result. Okay, and then I will ask someone online to share their problem statement, their prototype, and name and description of their prototype. Maybe I could give you 15 minutes on that. Oh no, 8 minutes maybe. And then someone will volunteer to share this one. What is the problem statement? What is your prototype and the description of your prototype using the design thinking process? Thumbs up if you're okay with the activity. If you're using AI now to feel the process of design thinking. Good, good, good. I can see thumbs up. So anyone who would like to share, I'll stop my sharing and then let's see if someone will going to share their prototype based on anyone have. Okay, good. There's someone that share their design. Okay, a blended fruit jam. Okay, let's see. Based on what's the problem? What's the problem statement? Okay. And then, so what's the prototype now? Do you ask Gemini to create some image or a mock-up of the prototype? Anyone who is sharing? Please, you may use your microphone.
Hello, good afternoon,
Hi.
Dr. Juan.
Yes.
I'm Mr. Alvin Abalos. I'm the one who is now presenting the one that I think about the blended fruit jams.
Hmm.
So my problem statement is about on which millennial and Gen Z consumers increasingly seeking healthier and more novel food options feel limited and frustrated by current job market, which is dominated by high sugar, traditionally flavored and chemically preserved products. Especially today, um, young generation are now unhealthy and they experience diabetic. So
Hmm.
there is a need for a premium low sugar fruit spread that offers both exotic, complex profiles using blended local and unique fruits and transparent natural ingredients to meet their desire for guilt-free indulgence and culinary adventure.
Hmm.
So the prototype name generated by Gemini, the Sunburst blend, which is mangosteen and passion fruit jams.
Hmm.
The prototype mock-up. This is a focus on a visual and physical presentation of the product, the jar, and the label, as this is the most critical element for customers' perception in the grocery aisle.
Hmm.
Jar, a small wide mount artisanal glass jar, 8 ounce, with a simple metallic gold lid to convey premium quality. For the label, a matte texture paper label with hand-drawn illustrations of a half mangosteen and a cat passion fruit reinforce the natural and exotic blend. Key information in immediate visible low sugar, artisan blended, and no preservatives, which the font is modern yet rustic. The product, the jam itself designed to have a vibrant, deep purple-orange color from the blended fruits and a slight looser, more natural texture than traditional pectin-heavy jams, highlighting its blended and fruit-forward nature. This is now the prototype description.
Okay.
The
Thank you
sample.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. So with that, as you could see, thank you for that sharing of prototype. Again, we are just simulating, right? But in the real world, remember a while ago, I guess what you have asked Gemini, you go directly with the problem statement, no, based on the task. But remember, the most important thing that I try to go back with my presentation because this is most of the things that we do in designing a product, and sometimes the design is just we just design it and then no one use it, no one buy it. Okay, remember, what is very important is the empathizing. Okay, so the presentation a while ago, but I agree because we're just simulating. You just go to the define, the problem statement. Okay, but what is very important is the empathizing. So that's why in the Google Docs that I've shared, the first one in empathizing is I asked the AI to act as a researcher, and then I asked Gemini to do a persona interview, maybe 10 people, to generate interview concept, and based on that interview we could identify the problem statement. Do not forget about this part, the empathizing. In that case, the jam a while ago, although, by the way, I have to be very clear now. Well, just using AI, it's because we want to see how you use the design thinking from problem statement to ideation. Ideation, you may have a lot of ideas, but you try to use the scamper method, and then you eliminate some ideas, and then you combine some ideas until you make a prototype. But in the presentation a while ago, it's from defining the problem to the prototype. I understand in real life there are people who did that, no? From defining the problem, prototyping, you miss the very important one, which is empathizing. And the based on the empathizing, you make your problem statement, and then you do ideation, and then we do prototype and then test. Okay, even though my last part is you have to share your problem statement, your prototype, and description of your prototype. We have to share based on my interview, this is what happened. And then this is now the user's description. And then these are the different idea that we have. But when we combine ideas in Scamper, and then you have decided a prototype, and then we test it, and then we try to revise it. Okay? This is very important, the design thinking process. I hope you found it very valuable. I know that currently the practice is defining to prototype, but you have to think about this empathy, ideate, and then test, go back to the user, and then test it again. Okay? Any other sharing? One more sharing, if you have. That is why, if you've noticed in my activity guide, the first one is empathizing, no? Asking persona. Maybe please generate Gemini. Parang this is just a simulation. 10 people that I have interviewed. so that I will know what are the challenges and what is the insight of that product. So anyone, just one more? Because I'm checking if you really value design thinking for TVET. From our online participants, do you have some, anyone who would try to volunteer and then show their output?
Good,
Hello, yes.
good afternoon, Professor Amelia Buan. So this is the according to the prompt disaster vulnerability in the Philippines is DG 13. So the product is all about the Baguio Safe modular flood resistant shelter system in which it is designed to protect coastal communities in the Philippines from flooding. So the persona here or the users are the coastal communities in the Philippines which is affected in flooding. And the empathizing or the empathize, first, watch videos and read articles about the impact of flooding on the Philippine communities. Then interview locals, experts, and stakeholders about their experiences and concerns. Then identify key pain points about their experience during that phenomena, inadequate flood protection, limited access to safe shelters, and lack of community preparedness. Then after that, for the empathize, the define the statement or the problem statement. How might we design a flood-resistant infrastructure that protects coastal communities in the Philippines and enhance their resilience to flooding? And to the idea, first, brainstorm ideas, modular flood-resistant housing and shelters, community-based flood protection system using natural barriers, and green infrastructure. Then early warning systems and emergency response plans. Then the prototype, develop a prototype in which that yung product, Baguio Safe, a modular flood-resistant shelter system consisting of elevated waterproof modules for housing and community centers, integrated solar power and water harvesting systems, and community-based maintenance and management structures. And the last is the test. Now they're going to test the prototype with coastal communities, gathering feedback and iterating improvements. So
Okay.
that's for the design process for the SDG 13 prompt.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So that's the complete design thinking. Okay, so the one that I give you here on the in the Google Docs, you may revise that based on your intention. What product do you want to make? Like the jam a while ago. So you could change the prompt. Okay, you could change the prompt uh, for that you will have a practice. And by the way, right now, so that you could really see what is design thinking, we're just making use of AI. But this is not the real thing, okay? We could say that AI is just hallucinating that he or she interviewed some user, okay? But we ask AI that you interview user and you put some persona on it, okay? But in real life, if you use design thinking, you really need to go to the user. So for that sharing a while ago with that jam, especially low sugar, so you really need before you define your problem statement, first you need to emphasize. Is that clear? Do not use the product without emphasizing the user. And also, ideas is very important. And then use the scamper method so that you could eliminate ideas, merge some ideas, and as well as those things. Okay? So I hope you try to understand on how to use design thinking for making your product, and as well as a pedagogy. Let's move on. Your reflection to your pedagogy for teaching. So you could also use design thinking as an approach to teaching. The emphasizing here is your students. Emphasizing your students what they need. For example, they must learn how to bake a cake. So what do they need? Emphasizing. Do they need in one group? Do they need to produce different cakes in one group? Okay, so you emphasize if the the economy side of your students, and then you try to define what your problem statement to your students, and then you ideate, you write a plan how to do it, and then you try to prototype your lesson plan, and then you implement it to your class, and then reflect, go back to your learner. You try to emphasize to your learner, and then revise it again. Go to your define, you prototype your lesson plan, and then you test it again. So the design thinking, you could use it as a teaching approach, or you use design thinking as a TVET teachers when you try to design a product. Always remember, in design thinking, the most important step that you should not miss is emphasizing the user. Okay? Because emphasizing the user is very important, because it's useless to make a prototype that no one will use it or no one will appreciate on the product that you are making. Okay? So I guess that's all for now, and thank you very much. And I welcome your question on how do you use design thinking as your process on making a student-centered lesson plan, and as well as in making a product as a TVET teacher, helping your student how to innovate product for the community. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone.
See. Okay, so for this session, this is the last session. Let's open the floor for questions for our last lecturer. Do you have some queries here from the on-site? How about in the online? You can chat your question in the chat box. Ayun the question. How about from the UTHM? Do you have some queries and clarifications? Since none, thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights for this last session. And at this point, we will now proceed with the awarding of the certificates of appreciation to our esteemed speaker.
Sir. Musa ka daw si Ma'am Ami. Mag-impression na sa.
Okay, before we proceed, invite one of our distinguished participants to share her overall impression of today's seminar. We may now respectfully call on Ms.
Ms. Margaha to deliver her overall impression and feedback on the entire seminar. Ay, wasa ka, sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to respectfully greet Professor Dr. Amelia Tibuan, College of Education Dean, Associate Professor Victor S. Rosales, sir, and Assistant Professor Ray A. Itum. I also extend my warm greetings to our distinguished speakers, participants, and students who joined us in this seminar. So this seminar has been a truly enriching experience with the theme Future Ready Pedagogies Advancing TVET Through Technology and Innovation. We were reminded that preparing learners for the future means embracing change, integrating technology, and designing learning that is both innovative and inclusive. I feel inspired and grateful for the passion and dedication shown by our speakers, organizers, and committees. The session gave us not only practical strategies, but also renewed motivation to continue improving our craft as educators. What resonated me most was the emphasis on transforming technical and vocational education and training, TVET, into a dynamic learner-centered space where students are not just equipped with skills, but empowered to adapt, create, and lead. So Professor Dr. Ahmad this morning showed us the importance of authentic student engagement through multiple approaches. Ms. Mukhtiarni guided us through the digital pedagogy transformation journey, reminding us how success can be measured in outcomes, growth, and impact. Professor Dr. Sasitip introduced us to citizen inquiry, a powerful blend of citizen science and inquiry-based learning. He showed how students can learn deeply by asking questions, investigating, and joining real research. His talk reminded us that learning becomes more meaningful when students are active participants, not just observers. And then we have our last speaker, Professor Dr. Amelia Tibuan, talk on design thinking, reminded us that teaching is a creative process. She showed us how empathy, planning, and innovation can help us design better learning experiences that truly respond to students' needs. So together, these talks gave us framework, strategies, and inspirations to make our classrooms more inclusive, innovative, and truly future-ready. I would like also to sincerely thank the different committees for their hard work in making this seminar possible. Special thanks also to our professors, Associate Professor Victor S. Rosales and Assistant Professor Ray A. Itum for their guidance and support. And of course, deep appreciation to UTHM for this meaningful collaboration. So as we move forward, may we carry these lessons into our classrooms and communities. Let us continue to reflect, innovate, and inspire so that our students are not only prepared for today, but truly future ready. So this seminar has shown that pedagogy must evolve alongside technology. It's not just about tools, it's about mindset, collaboration, and purpose. And through this partnership between institutions, we've seen how shared insights can spark new possibilities for teaching and learning. So thank you, and let's keep advancing education with heart, vision, and bold ideas.
Thank you very much, Ms. Margaha, for your valuable and feedback and thoughtful reflection. At this point, we will now proceed with awarding of certificates of appreciation to our esteemed speaker. May we now respectfully call on Sir Alvin Abalos to formally present certificate of appreciation to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Amelia T. Buwan.
My salute to our dignitaries, especially to our speaker, Dr. Professor Amelia Tibuan. And also I would like to call the presence of Professor Victor Rosales and Assistant Professor Ray Etum for giving the certificate of appreciation and token. In partnership with the University UTHM and Mindanao State Universities. This certificate of appreciation is proudly present to Professor Dr. Amelia T. Buwan in sincere appreciation and recognition of your valuable contribution as a resource speaker in the Future Ready Pedagogies Advancing Tibet Through Technology and Innovation program. Organized collaboratively by College of Education, Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology, MSUIIT, Philippines, and Faculty of Technical and Vocational Education, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, UTHM, held on 29th day of November 2025 through hybrid mode for sharing of knowledge, expertise, and inspiring insights, which have greatly enriched the program and contributed to its success, presented this 29th day of November 2025. Signed, Professor Pamela F. Resurrection, PhD, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, MSUIIT, and Professor Dr. Sharudin bin Mazan Mudzin, Academic and International Affairs Deputy Vice Chancellor, UTHM. Once again, Ma'am, Professor Dr. Juan, thank you. Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Aldrin Abalos, and congratulations once again to our speakers for their invaluable contribution to today's seminar. We will now proceed with the montage highlighting today's activity. Walang impression. Katong before kay Karon. After pagka-montage, yung nag-replay ang memories. Ayaw mo lang. May we now request everyone, both on-site and online participants, to join us for the photo session. Kindly turn on your cameras and prepare your best smiles. So, ibang Okay, to those who can screenshot, please do so. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, to those who are online, please open your camera. And to those who are on site, please face your left side and face the camera. Okay. One, two, three, smile. Okay. O sa may bola? Closing remarks or wala ka ba yan? After na? Oo, after. Mag-closing remarks at ka? Oo. Sa man? As we come to the conclusion of our seminar, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our speakers, participants, and organizers for the presence and active participation. May we now call on Ms. Grace Carion to deliver the closing remarks.
Okay, so distinguished guests, respected dean, esteemed professors, informative speakers, colleagues, and graduate students, good afternoon. As we conclude this seminar workshop on future-ready pedagogies and advancing TVET through technology and innovation, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to all who contributed to the success of this event. On behalf of the MAID TVLE students, our deepest thanks to our MSU IIT Chancellor, Chancellor Alice Sidney Ditokalan, and to our College of Education Dean, Professor Dr. Amelia T. Buwan for their unwavering support. To our professors, Associate Professor Sir Victor Sales and Assistant Professor Sir Ray Idom for their expertise, and to our partners from the UTHM, to Professor Elias and Master students Sir Habib and colleagues for their valuable collaboration and active engagement throughout the sessions. Today's discussion have highlighted the four essential pillars of future-ready education: the student engagement through multiple approaches to learning, digital pedagogy, citizen inquiry-based pedagogy, and design thinking for teaching pedagogy has provided us with clear direction toward a more adaptive and future-ready TVET landscape. This again reminds us that meaningful innovations begin with understanding our learners and ends with creating solutions that respond to their evolving needs. As Tim Brown emphasized, design thinking begins with empathy and ends with solutions tailored to human needs. As we move forward, let us carry the insights for this workshop to engage every learner through multiple pathways, innovate with purposeful digital tools, to cultivate inquiry that builds active citizenship, and to design learning experiences that respond to genuine human needs. May the insight gained today strengthen our shared commitment to pedagogical excellence and deepen the partnership between our institutions. Shukran and good afternoon.
To formally conclude this seminar, we may respectfully call Sir Khalid Sangkupan to lead us in the closing prayer.
Saan ni pagkuhan? Dili ah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Almighty Allah, the source of knowledge, wisdom, and guidance, we offer our deepest gratitude for granting us the opportunity to gather in this academic undertaking. We thank you for meaningful exchange of ideas, the enriching insights, and collaborative spirit that characterize this seminar or workshop. We ask you, O Allah, to make the knowledge we have gained today not only informative, but transformative knowledge that inspires responsible action, ethical practice, and service to society. Grant that our learning may be contribute to the advancement of education, the betterment of our institutions, and the upliftment of our communities. Bless all organizers, facilitators, resource speakers, and participants. Reward their efforts, strengthen their commitment to excellence, and guide them in all their professional and academic endeavors. Forgive our shortcomings, purify our intentions, and grant us clarity of mind, sincerity of purpose, and steadfastness in pursuing what is right and beneficial. As we conclude this gathering, we ask you, O Allah, for protection and peace. Grant us safe travels and renewed sense of purpose, and the wisdom to apply our learning in ways that bring positive impact. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. آمين.
We encourage everyone to accomplish the feedback form to help us improve our future programs. Once again, thank you for being part of the seminar workshop, Future Ready Pedagogies, Advancing TVET through Technology and Innovation. We wish you a pleasant afternoon, everyone. Okay, everyone, gather in front kay mag-picture ta.
Nakakarina. Taga Laguna State Polytechnic University.
Dali nag-attend.
Di akong gi-forward sa ila map katong si Dr. Andal nga din. Ako ba man ako sa team sa pag-curriculum.
Dapat sa inyo ang news.
Thank you very much once again. Looking forward to another event like this next year.
Thank you very much, everyone. Maraming salamat po for the opportunity to attend this activity. Sir Victor, thank you very much. Permission to leave.
And congratulations! Okay,
Arigato gozaimasu.